toward the end of Moses' life, he tells the people of Israel that in the future, God was going to send a prophet like him. And that prophet, of course, is Jesus Christ. And Moses told the people, you need to listen to him. So let's check out the various messianic Easter eggs that we see in the story of Moses, and let's see how they point ahead to Jesus Christ. And the first similarities that we see between Jesus and Moses takes place in their childhood. Moses was born during a time when a foreign power, the Egyptians, oppressed his people. And the Pharaoh wanted to control their population, and so he decided that he was going to exterminate the baby boys of the Israelites. Likewise, Jesus was born during a time of oppression, during the Roman Empire who occupied Israel. And the wicked King Herod wanted to exterminate the baby boys of Bethlehem because he was threatened by the Messiah. Moses grew up in a palace and he was free. He was not enslaved. And likewise, Jesus is from heaven, and so he is free. He is not enslaved to sin and death like we are. Moses chose to leave the comforts and riches of the palaces of Egypt to be identified with his people, to be identified as a slave. And Jesus chose to leave heaven to identify with us. Moses wanted to lead his people, but his people initially rejected him. And Jesus wanted to rescue his people, but they also rejected him. Moses spent many years in seclusion in the country of Midian, and Jesus spent many years in seclusion in Nazareth, working perhaps as a carpenter. Moses was a shepherd for some time, and Jesus identifies himself as the Good Shepherd. God told Moses that he was going to deliver the Israelites from their slavery and lead them to the Promised Land. Jesus came to deliver us from slavery to sin and to lead us to the Promised Land of heaven. Moses led the people through the wilderness for 40 years, and Jesus was tempted in the wilderness by Satan for 40 days. Moses provided the people in the wilderness with bread from heaven called manna. Jesus fed 5,000 people, and he declared that he was the bread of life, bread from heaven, given to us so that we could have eternal life. When the people rebelled against Moses, Moses offered his life as a ransom for the people. Jesus offered his life for us. There's a story where the people rebelled against God and against Moses, and there were venomous snakes that poisoned the people. And Moses raised up a bronze snake on a pole to bring healing to the people. Jesus raised himself up onto a cross to bring healing to us. At the end of the story of Moses, we see that God is the one that buries Moses. And nobody knows where Moses was buried. There was no tomb and there was no shrine to visit. Likewise, Jesus was buried, but Jesus resurrected, resulting in the fact that there was no tomb and no shrine to visit. In the end, we see two very powerful prophets in Moses and Jesus who deliver God's people, lead them to the Promised Land, and perform all kinds of miracles. We see two mediators. Moses was the mediator of the Old Covenant, and Jesus was the mediator of the New Covenant. We see that Moses was an intercessor and that he was able to go into God's presence on Mount Sinai, resulting in his face shining. Jesus was able to go into the presence of God on the Mount of Transfiguration. His face was shining. He is our intercessor, our go-between. He is our Moses. John chapter 1 verse 17 says that the law came through Moses, but grace and truth comes through Jesus Christ. Moses led his people and gave them the commandments and brought them to the promised land of Israel. But Jesus leads us. He rescues us from slavery to sin and death. He gives us grace. He gives us himself. He fulfills the law that we could not fulfill. And ultimately, because of that, he leads us to heaven. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learned something. If you did, please like it, share, and subscribe. God bless you.